He's got the structure. He's got the face. He's a big
The
guy.
throat.
I don't know. Does he? We got some breaking news today. So we filmed this on Saturdays, and I was pleasantly surprised to hear this because we've been speculating, or there's some speculation in the film sphere about James Gunn's next Superman film, aka Superman and Lex Luthor film, Man of Tomorrow. We got some sweet news. James Gunn finds his Brainiac for Man of Tomorrow in Lars Eidinger. So, German actor Lars Eidinger will be Brainiac in James Gunn's Superman and Lex Luthor movie Man of Tomorrow, we hear. This is the first time that Brainiac, a very popular Superman villain in the comics next to Lex, will appear on the big screen. The character was created by writer Otto Binder and artist Al Plastino and made his debut in Action Comics 242. Brainiac is a really smart android who comes from the planet Kolu. He's hell-bent on collecting all the knowledge in the universe. What we know about Man of Tomorrow is that David Cornsweet's Man of Steel and Nicholas Holt's Luthor have to team up against a new threat in the galaxy. Wouldn't be surprised if Brainiac, who can shrink cities and destroy planets. In the comics, the bad guy has a history of shrinking Superman's home planet Krypton, and in some storylines, even destructed the place. So yeah, that's pretty much the headline, and super fascinating going into it because there's a lot of speculation who could play Brainiac. Actually, I'll start with this. David, have you heard of Brainiac? Are you aware of the character?
I am not. Looks like he's green.
He is green. Yeah, so my most recent memory with Brainiac is the game Injustice: Gods Among Us. I think he was in the first.
He was
one.
in that game?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have that game. I
You
guess
do?
I never got. Yeah, I do. I guess.
Okay,
I
sweet.
remember.
Yeah, I can't remember if he was in the second one or the first one. But
Okay.
yeah, he plays he's the big bad. And in terms of being on the big screen, he hasn't made his debut yet. He was on the show Krypton, which was like a Superman prequel that came out on, I think, Sci-Fi years ago. It was received like mixed for the most part, but I don't think it was received that poorly. But I know he was in that, and he had a pretty decent look on him. He looks more humanistic and very, very neat. But yeah, with Man of Tomorrow, I think we're gonna get something pretty special because you got David Cornsweet Superman and Lex Luthor teaming up against, because Brainiac is a big bad. Like, he's usually, when you think of DC Comics, you think of Darkseid. Like, Darkseid is like the Thanos of DC Comics, and Brainiac is, I don't read the comics, so I don't know, but I don't think he's as powerful as Darkseid. Darkseid is like the all powerful, but Brainiac is just as bad and just as evil. So yeah, going into Man of Tomorrow, there's speculation that there was news that came out, that there were lots of rumors that came out these past few weeks that Matt Smith could be Brainiac, that Sam Rockwell could be Brainiac, and even James Gunn came out and said, "Well, I never said Brainiac was in this film, nor did I ever say these actors were playing him." So that was just, I think, earlier this week, and then boom, here we go on Saturday. He drops the comment like, "Hey, we got this guy Lars coming in playing Brainiac." And I'm super excited about this because, I looked up Lars and his filmography, and I'm not familiar with anything he's done. And so I think, and from what I've seen, it hasn't been anything like super notable. Like, I'm sure he does great work. I'm just not aware of it. But to most people, they're not going to recognize him, which I think is great, because what that does, it sets zero expectations for how this guy is going to play this role. I think James Gunn knows casting. In the MCU kills their casting all the time. And with what we've seen from Superman that came out this year, the way he found David Cornsweet, Cornsweet fully embodies Clark. He fully embodies Superman. In my opinion, Nicholas Holt fully embodies Lex Luthor. He is really fun to watch. All the characters.
1A.
I know, dude. It's so funny. Lots of people dogged that part, and I'm like, come on, like,
That was a great part.
yeah, it was a little goofy, but
It was memed. That's what it was.
yeah,
It was memed, rightfully so, I think. But things that are good can be memed, and just because they're memed, I don't think that makes it like bad or cringy.
dumb.
I don't think it was cringy at all. It was just like that's just who his character was, and it was like wasn't necessarily like epic in a way, but it was over the top for the purposes of being over the top.
Right.
Like his because
Yeah.
that's who he is. He's over the top.
Lex Luthor is over the top. In a lot of his iterations, he has been. So yeah, it wasn't surprising to see that. In terms of casting, James Gunn kills it. The casting director, everyone on that team, they know what they're doing, and I'm very excited to see Lars in this. Like I said, zero expectations. I think a lot of people, going into this, especially hearing that maybe Matt Smith could play Brainiac, Sam Rockwell, like two phenomenal actors. And it's like once you get that idea in your head, lots of fans think like, "Oh, well, it's going to be one of those." So I'm just going to focus on that. And like the moment this news comes out, I checked out some of the comments, and they're like, "Man, I would have preferred Matt Smith." It's like, guys, come on! Like you have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea if Matt Smith would even have been the right role for this because, it's all dependent on how you're casted. It's all dependent on, is this actor going to be the best for this role? Because I mean, you've had multiple iterations of Jokers, all wildly different and all fantastic in their own right. And this is just another example of, I mean, you got this guy who I'm sure no one really knows about. You have zero expectations for this character, or zero expectations for this actor coming in to play this well-known character. I think it's going to lead to some very interesting. Um, I think it's going to lead to a very interesting performance because of those zero expectations. So, David, you got any more thoughts on this?
My only thought would be I agree with what you said, where James Gunn knows casting very well. Superman was casted very well. You really felt like the characters that we're portraying were the characters in your mind, the perception that you have of them was perfectly aligned with the casting in a way. So this is definitely a big role, and you got to nail it. So really looking forward to seeing what work that Lars is going to put out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think in terms of looks, like his smile right there, like I could literally see him as Brainiac. There were a few more shots I had. Like, I mean, he just has the facial structure that I could totally see. Like, you just put some green paint on him, you put some holes around him. Like, yeah,
Dang, he
I
looks
could.
like a cool villain.
He right, like visually,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's a great shot from one of the comics. Visually, you could do a lot of cool things, and like when it comes to James Gunn, you think of wild, bombastic ideas that work in a crazy way, and Brainiac is a perfect example of one of those characters that he could use to his full ability, visually and narratively. I'm excited for him to tackle this. It's interesting with Gunn and how it's because I'm pretty sure he's directing this, and being a studio head, if you're he's directing, he's writing this, but he's also a studio head, so he has a lot of responsibilities, and a lot of people are thinking like, is he putting too much on his back? Because I mean, you think of like Kevin Feige, like he's the guy running all MCU, but he's not directing any films. So you imagine running an entire, film franchise, running an entire studio while directing, like that's pretty intense.
Hmm.
So I commend James Gunn on his workability and his just sheer will to get these done. Because even with Superman, I was wildly impressed. I loved Superman so much that I could tell he poured his heart and soul in it, and he had to because he had to revive the DC franchise. It was, dead in the water from the Snyderverse, and he totally revived it, made a lot of money, and hopefully that continues with Man of Tomorrow coming 2027. So they start filming this in April next year. So it's
Cool.
coming up. Yeah,
I will
man.
say, with what you said about how much work he's doing, that does concern me a little bit, simply because there's only so much time. And if you
Yeah.
can't devote the time that you need to for something, quality might suffer. So that little concerning to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Instead of just focusing on the directing aspect and really pouring the heart and soul of it into it, he's doing all these other things in regards to it. That does concern me a little bit about the future. Still looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah. I think Man of Tomorrow, if I had to guess, would be his not his last uh, you know, directed film. I think he's gonna take a break after Man of Tomorrow. Because Man of Tomorrow in itself, it's because it's just called Man of Tomorrow as far as we know. It's not Superman Man of Tomorrow. So it seems like he's kind of ramping these characters to build. I mean, of course, they're building towards a Justice League of some sort, and as he's building Superman, I think he's going to hand off the baton to someone else, and they'll take the reins. Because I mean, there's no way he could direct, films while he's directing the studio. I mean, that's just got to be so strenuous and so stressful and all that. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with James Gunn and DCU. I'm excited for everything coming from that studio. We got Lanterns coming next year. We got Supergirl coming next year. Hope some Batman news next year on who's going to play Batman. Everyone is going crazy over that, speculating who that could be. I think it could be Brandon Sklenar. David, you probably don't know his name, but if you see him, you'll definitely think, yeah, he could be Batman. He's
All
got
right.
he's got the structure. He's got the face. He's a big
The
guy.
throat.
I don't know. Does he? I don't know about that. But yeah, lots of cool stuff coming in the coming years for the DCU. Can't wait for it. Let us know what your guys' thoughts are with Lars being casted as Brainiac. Curious to hear your thoughts.